Drop of Blood. The Dark Legend of Lake Tazawa, the Ghost Princess of Akita, Japan. Lake Tazawa is known today as Japan's deepest lake, a calm, almost unreal blue circle surrounded by mountains and silence. Tourists come for its beauty. Photographers chase its reflection. Fishermen still speak softly when the wind moves across the water. But beneath that beauty lies one of Japan's most haunting legends. A story of a girl, a curse, and a lake that never forgets. Candle Chapter 1, The Girl Who Wanted Eternal Beauty. Long before modern roads reached Akita, the villages around Lake Tazawa were isolated, ruled by harsh winters and strict traditions. In one of those villages lived a young girl named Tatsuko. She was not wealthy. Not powerful. But she was known for something that made people uneasy. Her beauty was said to be too perfect for a human girl. Villagers whispered that even the moonlight seemed to follow her when she walked at night. Travelers would stop mid-step when they saw her reflection in water, stunned as if they had seen something divine, or dangerous. But beauty in old Japan was not always a blessing. It became a curse. Candle Chapter 2, The Fear of Losing What She Had. As Tatsuko grew older, she began to fear something deeply, something that no one openly said, but everyone in her village understood. Beauty fades. And for someone worshipped for beauty, fading meant becoming invisible, or worse, unwanted. So she began to pray. Not to the village gods. But to something deeper, something hidden in the mountains surrounding the lake. She prayed. If I must lose my beauty, then take my humanity instead. Let me remain beautiful forever. That prayer would change everything. New Moon Chapter 3, The Spirit of the Lake. One night, Tatsuko followed a strange voice calling her name from the forest near the lake. The wind stopped. The water became still. And from the dark surface of the lake, something began to rise. Not a man. Not a woman. But something ancient. The spirit of the lake spoke without sound, directly into her mind. Eternal beauty has a price. Tatsuko did not hesitate. She agreed. Water Wave Chapter 4, The Transformation. At midnight, villagers heard a sound like thunder beneath the earth. The ground near the lake cracked. Water rose violently, swallowing the shoreline. Tatsuko disappeared that night. By morning, the village was unchanged, except for one thing. A new, deeper part of the lake had formed, so deep no one could measure it. And from that day onward, the lake was never the same color again. Some said it turned darker near the center, as if something was still sinking, still falling, still living. Chapter 5, The Princess Beneath the Water. Years passed. Fishermen began reporting strange sightings. A girl with long black hair floating just under the water's surface. A pale figure standing where the lake suddenly drops into impossible depth. A reflection of a young woman smiling when no one was there. They called her the Princess of the Lake. But those who looked too long at her reflection reported something worse. They began to see themselves, aging rapidly. Wrinkles forming in seconds. Hair turning white. As if the lake was stealing time itself. Fog Chapter 6, The Curse of Beauty. One winter, a group of travelers tried to camp near the lake. At night, they heard a voice singing from beneath the ice. Soft. Beautiful. Human. One of them looked down at the frozen surface. And saw her. Tatsuko. Not as a corpse. Not as a ghost. But as something alive beneath the ice, her eyes open, watching. The man screamed. The next morning, he was found dead near the shore, his face frozen in an expression of awe. The others fled and never returned. Drop of Blood Chapter 7, The Truth No One Speaks Aloud. Locals still refuse to say her name near the water. Instead, they leave offerings quietly. Rice. Hairpins. Small mirrors. Because mirrors are believed to calm her spirit. Or remind her of what she once was. But elders warn. If you look into the lake and see a beautiful girl smiling back, do not smile back. Because if you do, she may believe you are trying to take her place. New Moon Final Chapter, The Lake That Never Sleeps. Even today, visitors report strange things. Phones losing signal suddenly. Cameras capturing a girl in the water who wasn't there. A feeling of being watched from beneath the surface. And on quiet nights, when the wind stops, Lake Tazawa becomes perfectly still. Like glass. Like a mirror. And if you stare too long, you might see a princess under the water. Waiting. Smiling. Remembering every face that ever looked at her beauty and never looked away in time.